This is the craziest episode of Wife Swap that ended in disaster.
I can't stand it here. I just can't hack it.
Perfection.
You fucking take back everything that you said.
Let me in my ass. Let me in my ass!
Hello, you gorgeous donuts. Have you ever wondered what happens when two women from totally contrasting families swap lives for 2 weeks and have zero contact with their normal family? Well, you get a dramatic show called Wife Swap. This is a British TV show which is basically a social experiment to see how people cope when they swap with a different family who lives a different way to what they do, just to kind of see how they cope. And obviously this concept just creates so much drama because the people just butt heads because obviously they have a total different idea of how they want to live their lives. And in this video we're going to cover the episode that made UK wife swap history, as the show had to stop filming after 5 days because the couples just couldn't hack it anymore. There was too much drama. We're going to cover every little detail about this episode, from the most toxic arguments ever to the worst rule break in wife swap history to the biggest curveball I've ever seen in a wife swap episode. Genuinely, this took my breath away. We're also going to cover why this is known as the hamster episode. I don't think you want to know the reason behind that. How at the end of the swap they then meet up, and this was really explosive. And also at the very end of this video we've got one of the wildest updates of where the people are today, so stick around for that. Without further ado, let's get into it. I am so excited. The episode begins with us getting introduced to our first family who will be taking part in the swap. They are known as the Keys. This consists of Dawn, Paul, and their 2 kids, 1 daughter and 1 son. They also have a parrot, and the parrot is the first one to be named in the entire show. Bit of main character from the parrot there, love to see it, okay? Keeping it on with toes, I thought the parrot was swapping with the other wife for a second, you know, just because it was the first one introduced. The parrot's gonna start picking up some chores around here, making its own way in this world. One thing I will say is Bruce's attire, like, is absolutely mega. This guy looks like he's about to take down the Batman. Genuinely, like, I can't tell if he looks like a villain out of Gotham or just like a Harry Hill impersonator. It's somewhere in the middle. Also, Kane doesn't look too pleased to be taking part in this experiment. I doubt they asked for his permission before going through with this. Definitely knows that when he goes to school the next day, he's gonna get the piss ripped out of him. Let's all just keep, you know, Kane in my thoughts. I mean, this was filmed over 20 years ago. He's probably got an ISA and a retirement fund right now. Dawn is a full-time stay-at-home mom, and you can tell that her and her husband Paul are very materialistic, as they live a very luxury lifestyle.
I couldn't be without money, definitely not, because we do live a nice life.
Yeah, no shit. Like, you've got the biggest bottle of champagne I've ever seen. Who cracks open a bottle of champagne just in the middle of the day? For no reason. I guess coming on wife swap is a little bit of a celebration. Is it? I would say it's more kind of hell. But hey ho, right? Glass half full rather than glass half empty. I love it, guys.
Dawn's a kept woman. She never works, doesn't pay the bills, and doesn't even have a bank account. She relies entirely on husband Paul for support.
I don't know if that's necessarily like a positive thing. It's great that, you know, she doesn't have to work, and if that's what she wants, like, that's unbelievable. But not even having a bank account, like, she has nothing really to her name. What happens if they split up? Like, would she be left with nothing? Not even having a bank account is crazy, but I guess, like, back when this was filmed, that was more normalised than it is now. Dawn spends most of the money that Paul gives her on clothes, and honestly, when them two are together, they kind of look, like, really famous and iconic.
We're both painting to our clobber,
I love fashion.
Shoes as well.
Look at these two right here. Like, if they walked into a restaurant when I'm sitting in it, I'm just walking out. Like, how am I meant to be in the same room as these two people with this ultimate aura? Still, you know, the more I use that word, I think it's going to sound more comfortable when it comes out my mouth. It never does. I feel like I need to take that out of my vocabulary right now. They look cool though. Dawn also buys all of her kids really expensive items, even though, you know, they're going to grow out of them. She says that she just wants them to have the best life possible. But she says the most vain person in the family is not her, not the kids, it's Paul. Now, when the show starts to do like a solo thing on Paul, the first shot we get of him is him coming out the bath completely naked.
But by far the vainest member of the household is husband.
Fucking hell, man. No way. Come on. The lens isn't wide enough to fit that package in. Bloody hell, that wouldn't just come in a Royal Mail van. You'd have to get a full DPD truck for that. The weirdest thing is, he would have requested to have been shot like this. I imagine he probably, like, you know, introed the idea to the producers, like, oh, do you want to get us when I'm, like, completely naked coming out the bath? Like, why else would they use this? It doesn't add to the plot at all. I also love that he's got, like, rubber duggies in the bath with him, you know, just trying to offer some comfort, I guess. Some comfort company when you're in the bath. It's funny because Dawn and Paul clearly have a really like banterish relationship, and she says that he is more of a woman than what she is.
Once every 4 weeks, my whole top half of my body waxed. Every 2 weeks, my eyebrows waxed, feet pedicured. Just do the normal girls.
Oh no, I just snorted. What are you doing to us, Paul? Oh, I need a manicure now. I don't even know what one of them is. This is hilarious that there's literally 2 girls working on him at one time. Yeah, I feel like a lot of ladies watching this would be like, I'm glad that he looks after himself, but this may be a little bit of an ick. But it's not hurting anybody, right? He's funding the local economy. Gotta rate it. Here's me with just like me crooked bitten nails. I'm not even going to show you, I'm that embarrassed. I know this guy was definitely one of the early adopters of the trend of, you know, like them piranha baths for your feet. You know, like when the baby piranhas like eat all the dead skin off your feet. I know that this guy was funding some of them shops.
It's worse than a woman. I don't even have that done.
And although like people are going to take the piss out of him and like, you know, that like he clearly is having fun with it. Like if he likes taking care of himself and he's not hurting anybody, then there's nothing really that wrong with it. Like, yes, it's really, really extra, but if this is what gives him confidence, then go with it, Paul. Unless he's a bit of a prick, then we can, we can kind of turn the tides on this. They then go into this montage of Paul at the gym lifting some really heavy weights. And again, I definitely think he's requested this just to show, you know, he's got a macho side to him. Wow! Oh my God, he's so strong and so hairless. What a man! Oh, he's like the opposite of a gorilla. Oh, don't you just love a hairless man, ladies? I think I actually have more hair than him, just saying, right? Growing a little bit of a tash right now, starting to be a man.
I look at people my age who've got big fat stomachs and stuff like that. I just couldn't be like that at all.
I couldn't be with someone like that.
I really wish that the people they were swapping with are just, you know, just has the record biggest tummy in the entire world. That would make me day, just to piss them off a little bit. So you can tell both of them really like love their image. They're really like, they obviously care what other people think, and they kind of judge other people as well. They're definitely the type of neighbours that like comment on like other people living in the street. Oh, did you see number 51? Yeah, right, they've got a new car. Bet it's on finance. Bet it is. Right, not like ours, no. Oh, horrible colour that as well. Oh, it is, aye. Wouldn't catch me driving that if I was dead. Wait, that was like too specific. That like kind of seems like I do that. I don't. Okay, well, not on weekdays, maybe it's weekends. Okay, give us a break. Now, you're probably wondering how Paul affords all of this. Well, basically, he owns a 6-figure company, which is like a roofing company. He works a lot of hours, but when he's not working, he's playing golf with his mates, or he's on constant night outs with his friends. He apparently spends like no time with the kids. Like, they don't really have like a positive relationship, and he often chooses like going for a manicure or a pedicure or a sunbed over playing with the kids, which obviously that is a problem now. Like, it's not a problem to do that anyway, but if you're choosing that over your kids, do your priorities really, you know, sit in the right place? I don't think so. You can always get a pedicure or a manicure, but you can never get the time back with your kids when they're that specific age, and they will always remember that as well. So hopefully this experiment gives them a better perspective on life. I guess we'll just see. Paul also refuses to do any housework at all. It's all left to Dawn.
It's all done for me, so the only household chores I have really is running me bath.
No, and I have to do that most of the time for you.
He's a proper lad, and he just lads. I basically, right, me wife, like, she runs me bath and then she cleans it out afterwards. I've got a whip to have. Honestly, I've got a whip. What? I'm like Indiana Jones in here, honestly. We then meet the family Dawn and Paul will be swapping with. These are called the Lichfields. This consists of both Lisa and Mick, and they have 3 children. Lisa is also a stay-at-home mum. She's actually an ex-bouncer, but she lost her job like a year ago, and since then she hasn't really been in work, and she just decided to stay at home with the kids. Her and Mick seem to have such a nice, wholesome relationship. Like, you can tell that they absolutely love each other. They definitely don't have as much money as what Paul and Dawn have, but they definitely seem to have a lot more love for each other. The way that Lisa talks about Mick is honestly so nice.
Mick's a great husband. He can't do enough for me and the kids. He came to ensure that life runs smoothly. He's just a great guy to be with.
All right, okay. Alright, that's lush, okay. Trying to make us cry or something? What are you trying to do to us? Honestly, Lisa, will you sort yourself out? He also helps out a lot with the housework, which obviously is going to be really tough for when Lisa swaps places with Dawn, when she's going to have 0 help and a bigger house to clean. We find out that Mick earns £300 a week, and obviously this family survives off a sole income, and with having 3 kids, like, obviously there's not much money left over for like luxuries compared to what like Dawn and Paul have. Now, this money difference between the families causes so so much drama later on in this episode. I think the biggest difference so far that we've learned about the Lichfields and the Keys is that the Lichfields really don't care about expensive items.
What clothes I buy
Some
or
of
how
the
I look.
labels don't really bother us at all. As long as something looks clean and smart, whatever it is, I don't care.
And that's the best way to live your life. Like, honestly, I feel like if you are that way, then you're just happy because you're not trying to impress other people. I'm not saying like buying brands is, a bad thing. Like, I love certain brands so much, but if you're buying brands just to impress other people, then it's not really for yourself and it's not happy. Like, if you like the clothes that you buy, then, that's just the best way to be. Also, they say they're not bothered about brands. They're fully decked out in Adidas. I think someone's telling a few porkies. Lisa says the only thing she would change about her life is her weight. However, mixed reaction to her weight is just really out there.
You're a biggish built person anyway, and I like something to get hold of.
Okay. All right, Romeo. Right, good choice of words there. Love it. Just like something to get hold of, I'd love that she's biggish. Just biggish. Yeah, say that again, mate.
But he absolutely adores me as I am.
Yeah, you're not fat, you're just cuddly.
No, love, you're not fat. You're just cuddly. Honestly, this guy should write birthday cards out. He's just so wholesome and so sweet. He's the perfect guy. It's now the day of the swap and the ladies are getting ready to have zero contact with their families for 2 weeks while they spend their time in the other house. After they say their goodbyes and they're in the taxi, already Lisa is a little bit defensive about what Dawn's going to say about her home. She's a little bit worried that Dawn's going to think that they're kind of dirty. However, when Dawn sees the area that she's staying in, that's what she's more focused on.
Looks slightly rough. Don't like it.
I love that she's dressed like Victoria Beckham during this time. She definitely gives the vibe that if she was young, like today, she'd be like a micro-influencer.
Oh, fucking God.
That's just a normal home. That is bigger than the home that I grew up in. And she went, oh, fucking mate, are you taking the piss? You call that a home? It's a bomb shelter, man. One thing I will say, though, I know a lot of people who watch this show probably think she's a bit of an arse right now, and you're well within your rights to think that, but the one thing I really do appreciate, in these social experiments that TV used to do, you just see people for who they are, and it's so pure, and I do appreciate it from that level. But obviously she is being, she is looking down on these people just because of where they live and their home, which makes her a little bit of a, a bit of a knob. Now, before they meet their new families, both Dawn and Lisa get to tour the homes, like, by themselves, just to, be familiar with their surroundings and give their opinions. And a lot of the opinions that Dawn gives are so negative compared to Lisa's.
Is that them? They both look like models, don't they, if that's them?
Oh, that's so nice. Like, usually with every single wife swap episode, as soon as they go in the homes, they're like, oh, no, I wouldn't have that in my home. Honestly, what? What, you have a Hoover in your home? No, I wouldn't have that in my home. It just ruins the vibe. Wouldn't catch me using that. It's just nice that we see one where they're actually giving compliments. I'm sure Dawn's the exact same.
Obviously, everyone to their own, but this definitely is not my type of home.
That was the nicest way possible of basically saying, yeah, I think this is a bit of a shithole if I'm honest. Just say what you feel, Dawn, okay? We're going to judge you either way.
Well, if the woman thought of all this lot herself, she's absolutely A1 on decor. I love it.
Oh.
Oh my God, there's a hole in the ceiling.
All right, well, I guess, say what you see, Dawn. That is a fair comment. That is a hole in the ceiling. That is a big hole. I always remember in the flat that I grew up in with my mum, the kitchen had a hole like this, apart from the ceiling was actually like falling off it. Like the ceiling, I don't know why my mum just didn't like rip the ceiling off. She just kind of left it there. It just created like a good vibe, honestly. Like it just kept you on your toes, you just appreciated the bits of the ceiling that were there. If anything, it just gives you easy access to more storage. Okay, they're just being smart.
Hello. Hello.
Oh, it's making me feel sick, actually. And it smells as well.
All right, you're being a bit dramatic now. What, the landing makes you feel sick? Genuinely, like, what was there? There's just walls. What is particularly making you sick about the walls, love? I know that parrot's going to be an absolute prick in this. And you know what? I don't actually feel guilty calling a parrot that. Like, what's it going to do? Unless it, like, watches this video and then it kind of haunts us once it, I don't really feel guilt about saying that, if I'm honest.
Oh, wow. It's really beautiful.
It's disgusting.
Everything that Lisa has said about the home is so nice, and Dawn hasn't said one nice thing about Lisa's home. When Lisa watches this back, I know she's going to be fuming.
I couldn't have my kids living like this, no way.
What, because they've got bunk beds? I think that's a pretty normal thing within a lot of houses that have, quite a few kids. It's just a good thing. Like, it just means, like, you don't have to pay extra for a house for another room. Why not just stack your kids up? Have you never seen Step Brothers, the movie, before? Bunk beds are the most fun activity ever. They then both react to the manuals they've wrote for each other and the rules on how they like to look after their home. The wives have to follow these rules for the first week, and then in the second week, they get to implement their own rules into the new house. And honestly, this rule change creates so much divide and drama in this episode, it's wild.
Mick isn't bothered by his appearance. Oh my God.
I know she's being a knob, but I can't really find that funny. What, he doesn't look at himself in the mirror? Oh, what an ogre! Does he live under a bridge as well?
Just have to have a crease down the middle and his shirts need a crease down the arm. I'm going to ruin his clothes.
I'll just tell him loads of jokes then. Sorry, I'm in a funny mood.
I usually buy Mick and the kids' clothes from Asda and Dagenham Sunday Market.
Look at her face, man. Like, she's definitely someone that judges people as soon as they meet them based on what they're wearing. Nothing wrong with buying your clothes from George, right? Some bangers in there. Or go to Tesco and go to F&F. Oh, have you ever put a pair of boxers on from F&F? Oh, don't knock it till you try it, honestly. It's like they're being cupped by a cloud. Anyway, don't know what I'm saying. Seems like this is a brand deal, it's not. But if Tesco, if you're watching, right, I could do with the money. That's all I'm saying. Also, later in this video, I'm going to tell you how much the people actually got for appearing on this episode of Wife Swap. Because I didn't even know they got paid for being on this show.
I'm very conscious of my weight, especially living with a bodybuilder. He's going to hate me.
I always rate how the producers managed to get two totally contrasted families. They never fail with Wife Swap. Like, every single episode is a banger. I really, really wish they brought this TV show back today and I was the narrator. I'm just saying, whatever media network is thinking about that, please, just give me a call, please. After this, it's now time for the women to meet the families that they're going to be staying with for the next 2 weeks. And I feel like Dawn and Mick's meeting is a lot more awkward than what Lisa and Paul's is.
Thank you. Thanks very much. Thank you very much.
Sorry, I didn't even ask your name. Sorry,
it's all right. It's okay.
So sorry, I didn't even ask your name. Why do I feel like this wasn't Mick's idea to come on this show? I feel like he's been dragged on it by Lisa. Also, is it a red flag if your partner wants to go on Wife Swap? That's a question I'm going to let you answer in the comments. I'm going to say yes. Because why would you want to spend time with another... Especially like on previous episodes we've reacted to where the people have only been together for like 3 months. It's like, you have a lot of trust. Now I've mentioned Dawn judges people as soon as she meets them. However, Mick is also doing the same with her. He just presumes that she's like this multi-millionaire and has came from money all of her life. Now obviously she is like kept and stuff, but like he knows nothing about this person really. Like you don't know like what her life story is, but he's kind of made up in his own mind what he already thinks of her. Their connection just seems really frosty compared to Lisa and Paul's, as they seem to have chemistry straight away.
Shit, your missus is going to be so...
Oh, no, don't say that. Listen, as long as you're happy.
It's clean and tidy, but it's small.
Paul seems really sound. Like, I know he's very vain, and, he obviously doesn't spend much time with his kids, which is an issue, but to talk to him... Like, initially, I'm like, I don't think these two are going to have a problem. But I know they do later on. But, like, initially, I'm like, they look like they could get on, like, a house on fire. Overall, my initial impression of the 4 people taking part in this experiment, I actually think Paul seems the nicest personality-wise out of everyone.
It's getting on blinding with the children that makes me feel happy. It's made me feel relaxed. If it carries on like this, I'll be happy.
Like, straight away, he's just being really nice about her. We've seen in previous Wife Swap episodes that we've reacted to, where, like, the men straight away go, God, she's ugly and shit. And I know we're really, kind of dealing with the bare minimum here, but it's just nice that, like, he's trying to make her feel as comfortable as possible, and she also is trying to reciprocate that energy. However, Paul has actually organised a night out straight away for him and Lisa. However, not together. Paul is going out with his mates to the snooker club, and Lisa's actually going on a night out with Paul's sister-in-law, who is Dawn's sister. They've just got a babysitter for the kids, which is kind of incredible. Like, imagine if your own sister having to go out with this random woman who has replaced your sister in a family dynamic. That's just such a strange, spontaneous thing to do. I'd be like, I'm not going out with her, I don't know her. She might be a killer. She might be a murderer for all I know. Lisa's also really bemused because Paul's give her 40 quid for the night out.
Some money, get a drink, yeah, have a nice evening.
I will do. I suppose that's all mine for the night. He didn't ask for any change.
Isn't it mental that back when this was filmed, you could go out with 40 quid and still have, like, significant change left? I feel like now every single time you go on a night out, drinks are so expensive. 40 quid wouldn't even get you, like, 3 or 4 drinks. Unless you're a pint drinker and, you know, you're just kind of built different. Now, when Paul is talking on his night out to the camera, he's basically saying that his week with Lisa is going to be a breeze because he's got a really infectious personality and can get on well with anybody he talks to.
It's a gift that maybe someone's give me, but I love it because life's short and let's enjoy it.
Now, I definitely think meeting someone for one day and having to live with them for 2 weeks is 2 totally different things. Like, you can have a best friend who you've been best friends with for all your life, but if you move in with them, you might end up resenting that person because you're not just seeing the good bits of them, you get the whole of them and stuff that will just kind of clash with how you like to live. So I think he's being too optimistic here. I feel like they're going to have loads of issues judging how they actually like to live their lives when they're home. Meanwhile, Dawn and Mick are having a night in, just eating their tea together, and the overall atmosphere of this house is just really awkward. Like, it's quite quiet, there's a lot of silence. The only time they really have a back and forth with the whole family and the kids is when the kids are basically begging Dawn to get them a hamster when it's rule week change. As they're not allowed any pets, and Mick says that under no circumstances are they allowed a hamster in the home. So I feel like we just need to wait and see what Dawn does, because they've left this in for a reason. I imagine in rule week change, shit's gonna go down. It's now the full first day of the swap, and the person struggling the most, surprisingly, is Mick. He's only been able to have like 3 or 4 hours sleep because he's constantly thinking about his woman with another man.
It's just a little bit of jealousy knowing that someone else's husband that's got money is treating my missus to the life that she's always wanted.
Now, I honestly think that's a fair thing to be worried about, you know? Like, obviously him and Lisa are secure, they've got a family together, but your mind probably does play tricks on you, especially in such a weird social experiment, and I definitely don't think he was the one comfortable with participating in this. And I know you can look at this from loads of different ways, but I think it's kind of endearing. It shows that he cares about her. Like, it's not him being toxic, it's just him being normal, in my opinion. Of course you're going to have these thoughts. Again, it's never confirmed whether they have to sleep in the same bed. Sometimes they don't, sometimes they do. So his mind's going to just be running away with itself. And this is only the first day, so it's going to get worse as the time when they're spent away from each other increases. However, little does Mick know, so far he's got nothing to worry about, as before Lisa even had a chance to wake up, Paul's out the house at the tanning salon.
The sunbed is just part of a regular beauty regime he believes is well earned.
I love this bloke. I've never seen a bloke take care of their appearance so much than him. Honestly, Mick, I don't feel like you've got anything to worry about. Both of the wives then spend their entire day cleaning the homes. Lisa has so much more to do than usual, and obviously she's got no help from Paul, whereas Dawn has finished all the chores by 12 p.m. because usually she's got a lot more to do. Obviously there's like the difference of the size of the houses as well.
Paul doesn't do anything around the house, which I find totally sort of like unreal. I feel all men did something, like wash a cup or something.
Yeah, we're really scraping the barrel here, like washing a cup. That's nout. And it's only the first day, by the way, and you can tell Lisa is already done with living here.
She's already feeling the strain.
Piss off.
Even the parrot's getting it. The parrot's just being nice, going, "Oh, you're right, love. Will you fuck off?" Honestly, always chirping, aren't you? You stupid parrot. Don't have any insults for a parrot.
Ow! Fuck off. I first walked in.
She just kicked the cat. Oh, nah. See, I'm not a fan of Lisa anymore. You've lost my love. First off, swearing at the parrot, okay, right? I turned a blind eye to it, right? Kicking a cat, I've got to draw the line here, love, right? You can't tell them to piss off. This is where they live. If anything, you should piss off. They were here first. Bloody kicking that cat.
If it's not the pets getting in your way all the time, it's like Paul's routine. Very fucking annoying household to live in.
One thing I do find interesting as well is like the dynamic of the roles of the women within the household. Like now, I think if they did wife swap, it would be a lot different. Like back when they they used to film this show, it's so wild that one parent was able to stay at home full time, like, you know, one person's wage would like suffice what the bills were. Because obviously now times have changed so much in the period of like 20 years where, you know, a lot of families aren't like this anymore. And it's just so interesting to look back at this time and realise that this was just normality and it was only like a short period ago. Now moving on, Lisa at this point is basically a broken woman. The thing that finishes her off even more is when she has to go on a tour of the garden to pick up all the dog poop and she vomits multiple times.
Fuck knows how Dawn does this every day. It's probably why she's so slim if she heaves like me.
I get if you don't have any pets, like it's probably a bit minging picking up the poop, but I feel like, I don't know if it's just because I've always had pets and had to do this, I feel like she's overreacted a little bit here. But if you've never had to do this before, I imagine it probably is, you know, a disgusting feeling. But it's not like she has to pick it up with her hands. Oh, love. I feel like now they should make a scoop up all of the sick in the garden, you know? Like, if anything, we're not really any further forward here because the poop's just been replaced with vomit. God, this is a lovely chat, isn't it? Should we invite Cameron around our house? He'll just talk about poop and vomit all night. That's class, that. Ming crack. After she's picked up the poop, Paul then returns after he's morning routine of pampering himself, and also he's been shopping and he's got loads of shopping bags with him. And right after this, Lisa has a full cooked meal for him. Like, this guy lives the life. He just basically has everyone in his life serving him. Now, unlike Paul, Mick actually likes to share his hobbies with his wife, so he takes Dawn fishing, and Dawn straight away just absolutely hates it. Just before we proceed, Donuts, if you haven't already, please do consider pressing the subscribe button, then you join the best community on the internet, the Donuts, and you also help us on our mission to 1 million subscribers on this channel. We're now over 600,000 and we're ploughing, okay? We're getting there closer, so if you want to subscribe, I'd really appreciate it, and so would the Donuts.
That is one thing I'm not doing. You can say and do what you like. I'm not picking a maggot up.
You know what? I'm team Dawn for this, right? Dawn, I'm with you to the dawn. I know this is an experiment, right? And I'll watch it. I'll watch you do it, right? You're the expert. Honestly, I'll clap you while you're doing it, but I'm not touching a maggot. If I have to touch a maggot, and even if I see it leave me hand, I'm gonna think it's all over me body. Like, I'll just never get that feeling off us. I just kind of do it. But Mick just doesn't really see this from Dawn's point of view, and he's getting really angry at her because she's not taking like an interest in his passion.
We've just got to sit and wait.
Sure have.
How long we got to wait?
She is so funny. She had like a comedic timing. It was the pause. I genuinely think she thinks they're going to be there for like 5 or 10 minutes. That you're going to be here for a few hours, love, until, you know, the night comes probably. Did you see how many maggots were in that bucket? There wasn't just a couple. There was generations of maggots. Grandfathers, sons, grandsons. You're going to be there for the long run, love.
What does it take?
Look at that creased man.
And
Yeah.
you haven't looked at that once, you've been looking over there. You're showing no interest whatsoever.
Oh, mate, bore off, will you? What, do you want her to just stare at the rod, just for hours, just without saying anything? What's wrong with taking in the scenery? I thought that's why we're here, right? To enjoy our surroundings. Bloody boring bastard.
I'm asking
And you're
about
asking
it.
out of the sake of asking.
No, I'm not, because I'm asking.
You're asking for the sake of asking.
You're asking for the sake of asking. No, I'm not. I'm doing it for asking. You're asking. I feel like he's been a bit too sensitive here. Like, you know, she's probably just trying to make conversation just so it's not awkward. Like, what do you really want from her? I don't really understand. She's clearly taking an interest in what you're doing, but it's not enough for you. And this is really the start of the cracks between Dawn and Mick, which only grow bigger. Just from Mick's point of view, though, I do think he's probably a little bit more on edge because obviously the lack of sleep, and also just he's really insecure about his wife being with another man. So he might not be acting how he would act in his normal life. I know that's no excuse, but I'm just basically trying to offer a different perspective. And it seems like he's taken out his energy on Dawn because she's the only one kind of there to kind of listen to him. Whilst all of this is going on, Paul's actually give Lisa 60 quid to buy herself a nice dress because they're going for a family meal later on. Now, first off, why didn't he just take her shopping when he went shopping? Like, he returned with loads of bags earlier. Why didn't he just take her then and then he could have like helped? Secondly, can you imagine just going to a family dinner and you bring like another woman instead of Dawn? Like, what's her in-laws gonna think? That dynamic must be so weird. Like, oh yeah, this is just me new wife. Remember Dawn? Yeah, your daughter. Yeah, sacked her off. Oh, honestly, I was sick of her. I was sick of her. Oh, can you buy us more Louis Vuitton? No, Dawn. No, I can't. I'd rather have a woman that kicks cats. Thank you very much.
Sometimes you look and think, Jesus, that bird dropped a stone, put a bit of decent clobber on and done her face up nice, she wouldn't be a bad salt.
He's a lovely guy, isn't he? Bless him. Ugh. God, what a role model. Yeah, honestly, mate, if that fucking bird just dropped a couple of fucking pounds, she'd be a fucking stunner. It's like, you're not a nice person if you think that way about a random person, you know. That's not you being nice, like you saying that she will look better. I really feel like he thinks that's an okay thing to say. Lisa then returns home from shopping with a new dress. However, like, you can tell she's feeling really insecure because she feels like she's gonna get judged at this family dinner because she thinks she's like a slob compared to these people. And I definitely think she's probably just more aware of her appearance because she's in a household which pride appearance over everything. In the other house, Dawn and Mick are having another night in, and this is a Saturday night where Dawn would usually be out, and she's grown like ever fidgety because of Mick's lifestyle.
I've never once just sat here and I'm like, ooh, you know what I mean? I feel like, not being horrible to you, but I feel like I've got to get out.
Now, I understand that, and like if that's your lifestyle completely, you're going to feel just kind of on edge and you're going to have all this pent up energy. But going out, especially on a Saturday night, costs money, and clearly like Mick and Lisa have talked about how they don't really have any spare money, so they probably just spend their time in together because obviously, you know, they're just really comfortable in their own company and they don't feel like they have to go out and spend money to kind of prove their love to each other, which is just like, this is why you're in this experiment, to live how someone else lives and appreciate your own life when you return. Mick then tells Dawn that Lucy's dream life is to have a lot of money and live in a big house and just be comfortable, and you can tell that this is really playing on his mind that Lisa is staying with Paul, who has a lot more money than what he does.
She's got the high life. Good luck to her. If she's enjoying herself, good luck to her. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't jealous.
He is really trying to kind of open up the Dawn here, like he's really trying to learn more about what her life's like. You can tell he's really insecure and he really hates that he's in this position. I think at this point he's convinced that Lisa's going to leave him after this. Maybe she does. We'll have to find out. If she does, she would obviously be an arse, but I hope she doesn't. And at this point you can tell the tensions in both families are kind of just bubbling to the surface and it's about to blow up. I can just feel it. It's going to happen any minute. Mick then does a solo interview to the camera and it's just like really uncomfortable viewing as he gets really emotional.
And she'll be wined and dined and they'll be drinking champagne.
Sorry, I shouldn't. I don't know why I laughed there. I thought he was going to say 69 as well. I don't know why. That's just my mind. You know, Lisa's out there getting wine, dine, 69.
and it really hurts knowing her husband's giving her things that I can't.
I have such contrasting emotions here. Firstly, I really sympathise with him because obviously he wishes that he could give Lisa this life. Like, this is his dream, to provide the best possible life for his family. And at the minute, he can't do what Paul can do. So obviously you're going to feel, you know, inferior. You're going to feel insecure. You're going to just have so many emotions running through you, especially if you love this woman so much. You just don't want to lose her and you just want her to know how much you love her. I totally understand that. But it's just the way that he's kind of saying it. It's just, I don't know. I can't put like a finger on it.
It's like a cancer eating away from inside out.
It's just very dramatic, is what I'd say. It's almost like Jon Snow giving a really emotional talk to, like, you know, all of the men that are under him in Game of Thrones. It's like a cancer that's inside of you, just ripping you. I'm probably being a bit harsh here, but it seems a bit like a performance. At this point, Mick has completely gone off the rails. Like, he just can't handle this anymore, and I think we're only like a day in at this point. So he's now decided that his last resort to kind of fix his head is to open up to Dawn.
What? Here we go.
This guy, man, he's so unintentionally it's the... So... Oh, yeah, we'll fucking go. You're the one who brought this up. Why are you taking the piss out yourself? Yeah, we'll fucking go. Right, Mick's starting to open up again.
Things like you said, like Mummy's going to be taken out for dinner and she's going to be drinking this and she's going to be... That is hurting me.
Is it?
Yeah.
I can tell Dawn just isn't there for him, is it? Right. Mental note, going to use that more often. Okay.
But you know why? Listen.
Oh, I'm laughing, but it's just, you know, this is really... I really do feel for him because it's... You know, it must be ripping him up inside because he is a really hard worker. He works 6 days a week and I believe he puts up fences for people. So, you know, he's a grafter. He's a real grafter and he's really trying. And unfortunately, you know, just like the hand he's been dealt, he isn't able to provide the life that, you know, he knows Lisa wants, and this is just probably really ripping him up inside. I really do feel for him.
I do understand what you're saying. You'd love to give her that dream, but you'd never know what's round the corner.
Yeah, this is really, really sad. This is really sad. I just feel bad that he's been put in this position. Really, I don't think that he is. I don't think he's solid enough in his relationship with Lisa mentally to have been put in this position in the first place. A positive of this, it just shows how much he really loves her and adores her. And when Lisa and Tim watch this back, Lisa's going to realise, like, God, he really does love us. And that's going to be a really nice moment. And at the end of the day, like, someone can have all of the money in the world, but you can't buy that feeling that two people have, no matter how much money you have. Like, people can fake the feeling if they want to be within money, but the connection that Lisa and Mick have, money can't buy. And that is so much stronger than any financial gain. Now, you would think after seeing, you know, Mick really cry like this, Dawn would have a little bit of sympathy for him. However, quite the opposite.
He's a bit of a cry baby.
Oh, Dawn, have a little bit of that. A little bit of heart. The bloke's just opened up his heart to you. Nah, he's a bit of a fucking crybaby, isn't he? With the waterworks, a little bit dramatic, wasn't it?
I realised my Paul's a proper geezer. He ain't no bleeding woofy like him next door.
Well, that's not very kind of you, Dawn. Also, like, just because your fella goes to the gym and, you know, is strong and doesn't spend any time with you doesn't mean that he's more of a man than what Mick is. Mick is always there for his family. Mick spends every single free time he has with his family, and all he's done is kind of just spoke emotionally to you. That doesn't mean he's not a man, right? Like I don't understand why you think that Paul is more of a man than what Mick is. Just because Mick opens up emotionally and Paul doesn't. You literally called your man a woman in the intro, so what does that make Mick? But just to deep this as well, like, you know, when people are watching this show when this came out, and we talk about, you know, how it was hard for men to open up about feelings, because this was broadcasted on, you know, national television when there wasn't Netflix, there wasn't all of these streaming services, so millions of people would watch this live, and that is, you know, subconsciously getting feeded in to men that if they open up, they're going to be, you know, called the names that Dawn's called them. Yes, granted, he's probably overreacting and being a bit over emotional for what is actually going on, but that's just how he feels, and he's valid to feel that way, even if he is a little bit insecure. Well, not even a little bit, a lot insecure. Anyway, moving forward, it's now the next morning, and obviously Lisa and Paul were on that night out with their family, so they've got a big hangover, and Lisa's decided to sleep in, and Paul is fuming with her.
7 o'clock, 7:30. Dawn would have been up.
Standards are dropping, and Paul's frustration is running high.
I told you. Right, living with someone is totally different to just spending some time with someone for a couple of hours, because you really grind on people's gears if you don't match. Also though, Paul, if you're up, can you not, like, possibly, you know, like, in your, like, could you not do some stuff? I know that's not part of the experiment and Lisa is supposed to get up, but you can't just, you know, put the plates in the dishwasher or clean the plates yourself.
Maybe other people live like this, I don't know. I really don't know.
Look at the daughter laughing.
Twice a day, look. That ain't been clean for fucking 3 days or 2 days.
This is the positive of this show. It makes people like Paul really appreciate how important, like, Dawn is in his life, because he might take her for granted sometimes, and this has really kind of emphasised how much he does. Like, I've said this in a couple of wife swap videos that we've done, but people think stay-at-home mums have it so easy, and it's not until stay-at-home mums actually, you know, remove themselves from the household that you realise how important they are to the house, and without them, the whole thing just falls. Meanwhile, Dawn is left in the house by herself because Mix took the kids out for the entire day, so she's just, like, bored. She's got the total opposite problem to what Lisa has. Now, Lisa has eventually got up, and she was meant to cook a Sunday dinner for the entire family today, but she tells Paul that she's not going to be able to do it in time to fit in with his schedule, because obviously he's got, like, going out with his mates, he has gym, like, he only has, like, a couple of hours to eat this dinner. He, like, you know, he pencils it in to spend time with his family, and unfortunately we're just going to run over, so he can't. She also tells Paul that they don't have any bacon trays. Now, obviously Paul doesn't cook at all in this house, so he doesn't know where the bacon trays are. He's asking the kids, they don't know, and he eventually finds them in the oven, which is kind of weird, because surely that would be the first place that Lisa would check, unless she just can't be asked to check. But you can really see how these two, especially with a hangover, they're starting to grate on each other. I think they genuinely dislike each other now.
The house is just left as it is. Comes back, dinner's got to be at a certain time, and he's going fucking football. I'll tell you what, it's a load of crap in bollocks.
Oh, she's fuming.
5 baking trays in the oven.
Alright, fuck off for 5 minutes, will you?
This is just peak British television. All right, okay, fuck off while you're at it, will you? They're both just doing the little faces to each other. This is peak TV. It doesn't get better than this. It's so funny because when I research for these episodes, I always try and pick the best ones, and this one had like all of the comments going, this is hands down the best ever episode of Wife Swap, and I'm starting to see why. And it's only going to get worse from here. Because it's not much better in the other house as Dawn is starting to really get fed up with Mick. As it's not getting much better in the other house as Dawn is starting to really get upset with Mick's house.
Fucking rubbish in the front garden. So fucking untidy. Fucking rubbish bins on the pavement. Right rough joint.
It's not even that bad. It's literally just a normal estate with a road. You'd think she was walking through the Bronx the way she's speaking. Genuinely, love, you need to come to like some part of Newcastle. This will seem like Hollywood compared to there.
I'm not stuck up, but fucking hell, I couldn't live round here. I want to go back to my fairy tale.
What's wrong with it? Like, genuinely, look at it. What is wrong with this place?
Now Paul's getting on with Big Mother. She's living a life of fucking Riley back at mine.
Now she's starting to target her anger towards, you know, Lisa, who she's never met before, and, you know, she shouldn't really have any resentment towards her because she's done nothing to her, really. Like, they're both in the same predicament here. Calling her the big mama or whatever she said there, there's just no need for it. Like, why are you now targeting your resentment towards her? Now, speaking of Paul, he's actually had to take the cleaning into his own hands and basically break the rules of Wife Swap and just kind of not abide by the current laws that they usually run the house by, because the house is just getting so messy because Lisa's not doing anything. And that is annoying. Like, the whole point of going on this show is to live how somebody else lives their life. So if you're not going to put the effort in, what's the point in even coming on? Even the kids are noticing how dirty the house is now.
It's messy. Look, she hasn't taken the plug out of the bath from last night.
That is really interesting because, you know, it seems like this family treat Dawn more like a slave than a mom. Like, taking the plug out the bath, like, anybody can do that. That's not a job, but it's just expected that Dawn's gonna do it because she kind of cleans up after everyone. And I know that's just a child and like children only know off their parents, but it's just quite sad the way that Dawn kind of is unappreciated in this house. Now, to add to the issues that Paul's currently facing, a fox in the middle of the night has actually gotten into the bins and now rubbish is all over the back garden.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Fucking give up.
Oh yeah, a fox. Yeah, definitely a fox, not a producer trying to just really, you know, piss him off. That was definitely a producer that did that. No chance that was a fox. They were in the production room like, okay, how can we kind of just add more spice? Should we just go in the bins and just throw it everywhere? Ah, good idea. Go in the middle of the night as well so they won't suspect anything. When they've got a hangover as well so they won't wake up. A bloody fox. Good one, Wife Swap.
I don't understand why he's moaning about picking up a bit of rubbish on his own property. What did he want me to do it?
Now again, Lisa, I agree with you. Like, I agree. But unfortunately, the first week is abiding by the current house's rules. So yeah, like, you have to do it, unfortunately, even though you don't like it, because now it's time for the second week, because then in the second week, you can implement your own rules and change it. Now, speaking of that, it is actually now time for the rule change week, which obviously is just going to cause so much uproar. Like, already, they're at their wits' end with each other, both couples. This is just going to turn it up to the max. Now, like I've previously mentioned, the rule week change basically allows the wives to implement their rules on how they live their home at home into their new home, if that makes sense. I feel like I made that more confusing than it was. And I'm just debating which husband is going to lose their mind first. I feel like I'm going to go for, maybe it's an underrated pick, I'm going to go for Mick. I feel like Mick's going to find it a lot harder than Paul. Now, Dawn doesn't mess about. Her first call of action during the rule week change is to buy the kids a hamster. Now, you will know from the start of this video, Mick made one thing clear, that they weren't allowed to have any pets, especially a hamster.
Mick probably might not like it, but it's hard luck. The house rules are changed. It's my turn now.
And although I do like this, that she's buying the kids a hamster, like, this is just for a week, the rule change, right? Like, a hamster survives more than a week. So I really hope that they do take care of this hamster and they have the ability to take care of this hamster. I know it's just a hamster, okay? And I might be overreacting here, but if they're not going to take care of it, that's going to live a very sad life. Now, despite Lisa not following any of the rules in Dawn's handbook that she left her, Paul has decided that he's going to give Lisa's rules a fair crack. Whatever she throws at him rules-wise, he's going to just take it as it is and just really give it his full effort.
And I will go for everything, and I will give everything the best shot. Like, I don't care if I've got to go and, I don't know, cut the grass or...
I love that he's talking about these chores as if it's like going to war in Vietnam or something, like back, you know, in time. Yeah, honestly, I don't care if I've got to go to Dunkirk. I'll do it if Lisa wants us to. The stuff he's mentioning are such simple things like just cutting the grass or taking out the bin. You're such a soldier, you are, Paul. Honestly, they don't make men like you anymore. It is good, though, that he actually is going to give it like 100% because he easily could have said, well, you didn't, you know, like being petty about it and be like, you didn't follow Dawn's rules, so why should I follow yours? It's good that he actually is, you know, following the rules of this. Otherwise, like, what's the point of even entering this, like I said? Now, Lisa's first point of action, now she can implement her own rules, is to buy Paul a lot of cheaper clothing, like more cheaper shoes, more cheaper clothes, like cheaper t-shirts, cheaper trainers, so that he can be less vain. She also has set up another tactic so that he can't look at himself anymore.
Paul Key's Mako. These trainers, I've even bought these for myself. They're the nastiest selection ever had.
Wait, so you're just punishing him here? Did you say you wouldn't even buy these for yourself? They're the nastiest trainers they had. So you're punishing him like this? You're just trying to make his life a living hell here because you feel like your life's been made to be a living hell.
What we're going to do, kids, yeah, is cover up the mirrors to stop your dad posing so much.
Okay, that's pretty funny. Oh my god, that's funny. Even though it's a stupid thing, this might actually like help Paul possibly tone it down a little bit because obviously, you know, he takes so much pride in his appearance, which is fine, but because it's eating into his time with the kids, he does need to draw back a little bit. Maybe he can miss a pedicure or a manicure here and there. Now, I definitely think Lisa is trying to get Paul to like overreact and get angry. However, his reaction when he sees this is actually pretty surprising.
Still look good in that. And I still look good in that.
This is not what Lisa wants. Lisa wants him to, you know, bicker. She's not winning unless he's fallen for a trap. She's definitely trying to make him kind of be angry on camera so that she seems like the good one. Now, back in Mick's house, he set something up as a celebration for the rule week change to kind of lower the tension in the house. And honestly, when I say this is such a curveball. It's arguably the biggest curveball in wife swap history. Like, you could have given me 100 guesses what he's done here. I wouldn't have picked this. Also, if you haven't already, please do drop a like on this video because apparently it helps us. I don't know how, but yeah, it only takes 2 secs. Thank you very much.
This is just a little joke between the kids and myself. She seems to think I'm a bit rough and ready, so I thought I'd dress up for her tonight.
Okay. Slay Queen, go for it. This is what you want to do. Fair play. You go for it, fella. I don't think it's a bad thing at all. I'm just surprised. Like, he just didn't... I know you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, but I just never would have expected him just be so comfortable in this attire. Do you know what I mean? It was never alluded to at all.
Hello. Oh, you look lovely.
Well, I heard a rumour that you seem to think that I was, like, a bit rough and never dressed up, so...
Yes.
That's not the first time that he's wore that. He's too into the character, man. Like, he's too... Unless he's practiced in the mirror, like, for a couple of hours before and really got his character down. This bloke has wore that attire before. I feel like his way of saying, oh, this is a celebration of rule week change is just an excuse for him to put it on telly. I feel like he just wants to show off here.
Cross-dresser, that's what I like to say.
Her reaction was like, she wasn't even phased. She was like, oh yeah, cool, well, I think you look good. Well done, mate. Dawn and Lisa then sit both the families down and set out all the rules that they're going to change this week.
Mick needs to be a bit more of a man than a woman.
That's a little bit kick in the teeth, isn't it? You know, you didn't have to say it when he was, you know, all dressed up. Kicking a guy when he's up. There's no need for that.
Focusing too much on your appearance. I want to see how you look in ordinary cheap clothes. Can you be the same person or are you all front?
That's actually quite a good one. You know, that's a good one because it actually might make them kind of realise, oh, I don't need to like spend 500 quid on a t-shirt. Like, I can still wear a 10 quid t-shirt and actually still feel the same. Dawn then reveals to the family her brand new purchase she made earlier, and Mick is fuming.
Now, I said no.
Where's he taking it?
Don't worry, don't worry.
Where are you taking it? You can't put it outside. It's not his fault, the hamster's fault. Why you can't just leave it out in the dark where you can, Mick? He's just walked out. The hamster's like, oh, mate, come on, please. Like, it's proper cold out. Would you mind just the night till I find somewhere to stay on Airbnb or something? Please, just give us a night here. And this is the worst possible thing Dawn could have done for both Dawn and Mick's relationship, because the argument just becomes so toxic from here.
If you don't like it, there's the door.
You are what you are as you stand, Gaz.
What, a woman?
Have a look at my husband. That's the man who your wife's with.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, shit. Dawn was literally like, yeah, if you want to know what a man is, right, my husband's a man, and that's who your wife's with. I dropped that under a beanbag, by the way. I'm not that rich to destroy that. Didn't really need to tell you that, though. Right, that was quite striking, that, wasn't it? Was for me. Also, I've just realised, like, they've got a cat, which has never been mentioned. So why are they so bothered about a little hamster if they have a cat? I do see this from both perspectives, though, because I imagine, like, a lot of times when kids have pets, it's often the parents' duty to actually keep them alive. Like, it always falls into the parents. Like, they say they get it for the kid, but it's the parents' job. So Mick's probably just a bit pissed off because, you know, he might not have the time to look after a hamster as well, even though they take no time at all, really. But anyway, back to that comment. She has said that in the heat of the moment when she's so angry because she knows that's Mick's insecurity, that, you know, the person that Lisa is with is more of a man than him, earns more money than him. He will be fuming with that. That is so cruel to say that.
Don't argue with me, because you're fucking arguing with the wrong fucking person.
Right, well, you know where the door is, Dawn, so please leave my house.
It's the fact he's dressed like that when he hasn't been dressed like that the entire episode. This episode is just mental. What's going on?
I've taken enough shit off you, and
different
I'm a
people.
stranger coming into the
Two
house.
different-
You gonna let her have the hamster?
Yes, she can have the hamster.
Fine. End of story.
Now, that is a good point that Dawn brings up. Like, obviously, it's a lot more uncomfortable for her than it is for Mick in the house, because obviously, like, she's the stranger in the house, so she doesn't have home comforts, and she's basically saying that she hasn't been made to feel that welcome. And I actually agree with her. Like, he has been very standoffish the entire time with her, and it's kind of made her uncomfortable. It's like such a stark difference to what Paul was like at the start with Lisa. And it's funny because at the start of this episode, I was thinking that Lisa and Mick would be the least insecure because they seem to have the strongest bond, yet it's actually Paul and Dawn who aren't insecure and are actually so solid in their relationship that they're not worried at all about their partner possibly cheating or anything. It's just interesting how these dynamics have kind of worked out as the show's progressed. Now, you're probably thinking, she shut the door now, that's the argument done. However, you would be wrong. The argument gets so much worse from here, and it finally goes too far and ends in disaster.
Bloody hamster. It's a little bit like that.
Because you went behind my back.
Sorry, who's that? Is that the... So, I thought... Where's the makeup? Where's it gone, fella? I don't know who you are anymore, man. It's like Clark Kent and Superman. I can't tell who's who.
Because I'm Lisa, so I put clues.
No, you are not Lisa. You are far from Lisa.
Too right, mate. I wouldn't want to look like that.
Just before we get into, the exchange there, that child has tried to talk about, 10 times there, and he's just, the negative aura. Oh, I've said it again. But he has, you gotta admit it. Right, very negative aura on show from that child there. Trying to butt in, just can't really, can I say something? I mean, we've all been there.
You wouldn't want to look like that. Don't you dare. You do not know me. You do not know Lisa. Right?
What a day to be a neighbour in this estate, by the way. Oh, generational time. She did go too far there, like far too far. Again, there's no need to take the piss out of Lisa. She's not here. She hasn't done anything. You're mocking her appearance. Of course he's going to react that way. It seems like Dawn says things because she knows she's going to get a reaction out of Mick. She really hits him where it hurts, and it's not very nice. But also, Mick also has to take some responsibility because the way he handles arguments is just so aggressive. He's been aggressive from the start, really.
I'm not Lisa, and I don't look like Lisa, because that's the whole idea of the wife swap, the opposites. We are two opposites, and he's got to accept that.
She's trying to save herself there a little bit by saying, I actually meant I don't want to look like her because that's the point of the show. We know what you meant. You don't want to look like her because you don't think she's as attractive as you. That's what you meant, love. Also, who's this wild guy on a bike trying to be the main character? Get off! Unless you're going to give her a back at home. Get away. I feel like the only person that has dealt with the rule change week, swimmingly, is definitely Paul. He's absolutely smashed it. And you can tell Lisa is just so annoyed that she hasn't been able to break him.
He reacted like Jack the Lank to look good and come across like Mr. Nice Guy. I'll do that, I'll give it a go. You're like Bob's your uncle.
Now, I actually think Lisa's acting really toxic here because she's not saying, off camera he's really nasty or nothing. Because if he was being nasty off camera and then nice on camera, you can understand why she would be saying this, because he's kind of been fake. Yet throughout this entire show, He's just acted the same, really. Even when he's been annoyed, he's still been this same kind of laddie character. I feel like she's trying to get a negative reaction out of him to make him look bad, but he's just, he's just being himself. I don't actually think he's doing anything wrong here particularly. I just think Lisa's a little bit annoyed that she's found this a lot tougher than what Paul has. Paul has to cook tea for them on the night time, and Lisa actually says, like, the tea was actually really nice, but that also shows that Paul could do a lot more when Dawn is back, like he could cook tea one night, but he just chooses not to because, he kind of just walks all over Dawn. Now, it seems like at this point, Lisa has kind of given up with the entire process of wife swap. Like, they're not even that many days into the process at this point. And she has broken the golden rule, the worst rule you can break on wife swap, and she has contacted her family back home before the period has ended with her being on the show. Her phone call is with her son, and her son's basically told her the entire argument that Dawn and Mick has just had. And just listening to Lisa, you can tell she is fuming with this.
Called him a fairy and that he's not a man. Take off all that caked cement that's on your face and be a real bloody woman.
God, they're really, really just trying to tear each other down here. Like, looking at Lisa here, she has been really horrible. But from her point of view, she hasn't been there in the moment. She's just hearing that this random woman is, being horrible to her husband, being horrible about her. She's probably gonna, act really horribly back.
You're a superficial bitch and I can't stand you.
This is so wild. You haven't even met. I mean, you're going to meet face to face in a couple of minutes on this show, which I imagine is going to be absolutely wild, which I can't wait for. But saying that about someone you've not met. Now, while the phone call was happening, Paul was actually asleep in bed, and also what's happened when he was in bed is Lisa has packed up all of her stuff. She's took the car and she's on the way home.
Even if she'd gone off for a drive or whatever, I can't have someone who's meant to be looking after my children go out like 1 o'clock in the morning and just drive off.
I feel like he's got a right to be annoyed because he's really, put everything into this process. He's given it his all and Lisa really hasn't, and now she's just nicked off in the middle of the night. He has a right to be annoyed in my opinion. Now at this point, back at Mick's house, he obviously, the last time we saw them, threw Dawn out because of the argument they'd had. Now Dawn is no longer at the property, but Lisa has actually arrived and is demanding access to her own home, but they're not letting her in.
Fucking hell are you doing here?
It's over.
Get over there a minute.
No, I won't. Let me in my ass. Let me in my ass!
Jeez. This is the wildest episode ever, man. Imagine not being able to get access to your own home. The reason why is because Mick is clearly thinking about the appearance fee here. I mentioned in the intro I was going to tell you how much allegedly these people have been paid to go on the show, and apparently it's £1,000 per family. Now obviously contractually you will have fulfillments, like you will have to actually, do your full service to the episode. If you return home earlier, I imagine there's a break in the contract where they basically don't have to pay you. So that's why they're being like, oh, look, just you're not coming in because we really want the £1,000 here. Think of all the manicures and pedicures we can get. Okay, we can have better nails than Paul. The show then wastes no time showing the couples getting reunited again. Like usually you see them, but they haven't showed at this point because they know the real thing that the viewers want to see is the couples meeting face to face for the first time, and that's what we get straight into. During this face to face, they basically talk about their experiences, and they also talk about what they don't like about each other's living situations. Now this starts off with Lisa basically saying that Paul needs to do a lot more around the house and he's basically like a lazy bastard. She says this straight to his face, but again he kind of takes it on the chin and goes, you know what, I really agree with you. And it kind of starts off pretty civil apart from Lisa like name calling a little bit.
What annoyed me about the rule change is the bloody hamster. It was something that Lisa and myself had strictly forbidden.
Again, like we didn't know that both of them had forbidden it prior, so they've probably said this like in the meeting beforehand, the production meeting, and you can see the look on Dawn's face. She's done this because she knew she was being a menace. Now obviously when an animal's involved, I feel like it's a little far. It's not just a prank at that point.
I'm not Lisa and I would never want to fucking look like Lisa, was your words.
Oh, I don't remember that.
That pretty much, yeah, Dawn, that was like, we can roll the tapes back. That's pretty much what you said. She's kind of shut the bed once she's in front of Lisa now because she did say it in the heat of the moment and probably didn't mean it.
All I wanted to do after that night was just ring you up and apologise.
Yeah, but it's spare the moment, isn't it? Spare the moment.
Yeah, spare the moment. Like, when I called you like a really ugly bastard, spare the moment, right? We're both the same. Are we best friends? I think we are. We're literally the same person. Don't look like each other, but we're the same person,
Being away from Lee absolutely didn't it?
Yeah, but the way you did handle it wasn't very well.
No, it wasn't.
I actually like that there's a lot of accountability getting taken here. Like, clearly they've all reflected on the situation and actually thought, maybe I didn't, give the best account of myself. And obviously we can give criticism like I have throughout this episode. But again, I really, really appreciate that people are just being themselves. We see on Love Island, we see on all of the reality TV shows today, people are so superficial and they put on an act and they're not the who they actually are. And it's just refreshing to see people who are flawed, because everyone is flawed in real life. No one is the perfect person, and this is what TV should be, representing actual people. So I do rate it.
We don't have your lifestyle, and I'll be frank, I wouldn't want it.
You're happy with that lifestyle, then good, good.
I feel like maybe you wouldn't want the lifestyle, but I definitely feel like you would trade places possibly just to be more comfortable. Like, because we've seen from your insecurities that you would like to provide for your family, and I just don't think that Mick wanted to give Paul the satisfaction that he wants to be in his position, which is, probably another insecurity, but it's just fair enough. If that makes him happy, that makes him happy. Both the couples then say their goodbyes to each other and then never meet again, thankfully. We then get an update from a few weeks after the show actually finished filming, and apparently Paul now spends a lot more time with the kids and, has cut down his routine of looking good, and this is backed up by Dawn, who actually says he plays with the kids all the time now and they've finally got the dad back. So this is such a positive from appearing on the show, because this has actually changed the lives of these children, and that's why I do love Wife Swap to an extent. It's one of my favourite shows because it is actually life altering. In the other house, apparently Mick is a lot cleaner now and actually does take care of his appearance. And also, talking about the way people look, Lisa now goes to the hairdressers often and she looks a lot different, and you can tell that living in Paul's household is clearly rubbed off on her, because now she wants to look better in her eyes. Like, she actually takes pride in the way she looks. So she's clearly taken something as well from living with Paul. And she also says she's a lot more confident in herself. So I guess, again, that's another positive thing that's happened here. We don't get a hamster update, unfortunately. I'm just praying that it's doing good. All right, hopefully that's taking care of its appearance. And that is the end of the episode. Now, I did do a bit of research into finding out where these people are today, but when people, aren't necessarily that out there on social media, they kind of want to live a more private life. I don't like to dig too much, and that's very much the case with both Dawn and Paul. They don't really post too often publicly, so I didn't want to dive too deep. However, I have arguably the wildest update ever in one of our Wife Swap episodes with Mick and Lisa. Wait for this one. Reality TV slob Lisa Lichfield is a secret hardcore porn actress that people can reveal. What? Okay, well, that's another curveball I didn't see coming. I think it kind of explains possibly why Mick just had that outfit on hand. It's one of his aliases. Has starred in a variety of eye-popping explicit videos, romping in a black PVC corset with other men. Oh, but we'll draw the line at having a hamster, do we? Writhing in ecstasy while her naked body is smeared in chocolate, which is then licked off. Okay. Should I stop reading? I can't. I'm so intrigued but so horrified. What, Lisa? Really? I just didn't expect this from her. Groaning with pleasure as she takes part in lesbian sex. Wait, is that why possibly Mick, dressed up to look more like a woman to satisfy? See, these are all the dots that were connected now. Okay, they're getting a bit too into detail here, saying showing off our 4D boobs. Okay, right, we get the picture. Lisa's husband, Mick, 38, who enjoys dressing in women's clothes, even stars in one of the movies. Oh my god. So it's like a family business. There was no mention of this. Why didn't they mention this in the episode? If anything, it would have done wonders for your career. Not too sure if Dawn would have been happy participating in those videos, though. Defiant Lisa told the people, "I've had fun doing them. I don't personally see anything wrong with at all. Dawn's house is like a shrine to groomed people. I feel like a slob." Sorry, what? I can have the same clothes on all day and Mick still wants to come home and ravish me. Oh my god, she's feral. She's actually feral. This whole episode was framed as if they were living like a really, honest living. Not that, doing this isn't an honest living, but clearly they must be making money off these, right? If they're, they've got the money to shoot them. No wonder they don't have any money left for anything else. They're paying for bloody production staff, man. What she didn't reveal is that for the last 4 years, she has been ravished by a lot of other people in a series of lesbian and X-rated movies. One of her most popular films is called Feast of the Flesh. Now, I couldn't find anything, luckily, that I found a movie called Feast of the Flesh that looks a little bit hardcore, but I don't believe it actually has Lisa in, and I'm not going to do further searches, okay? If I can't find it on the first search, that's fine, okay? I'm fine with not knowing, you know. What you see is what you get with me. I mean, clearly not, love. You know, we didn't know this. I'm proud of what I've achieved, and I'm glad the public have taken to me. And that is the end of the article. I told you this was the wildest update ever. Genuinely, like, this might be one of my favourite videos ever. I feel like it's got absolutely everything. I've had such a great time. Anyway, Donuts, if you want to go on a binge watch of all of the wife swap episodes we have covered, we've got about 4 or 5 now. Honestly, every single one of them is on this level for craziness. Click here if you want to do that. Right here, right? And big thing. Or if you want another TV show, I've got one here, right? I've got loads, right? Your night's sorted, okay? Thank you for watching, Donuts, and I will see you in the next one. Also, 5,000 likes on this video if you want another wife swap video. Anyway, okay, bye-bye.